have always been very focused on our primary business of supplying our cleaning products to the market. So we have always done our best to bring innovation to the market, and it can be from the very small, simple products from chemicals to cloths and mops to small machines like vacuum cleaners, all the way to the bigger equipment like road sweepers that we sell nowadays. So the range of products for us is very important to cater to the market. The company was started by Mr. Peter Bay, my father, who is still active in the business today. In the beginning, we had no employees. It was a family effort. My uncles, my aunts, even my grandfather chipped in. They did everything from deliveries to product demonstrations to bookkeeping. The company started life in the extended family house in Hougang. As we grew over the years and needed more space, we first moved to separated premises with the office to Yio Chu Kang Road, while the warehouse and service operation were for a short period near the old Kallang Gas Works before moving to Kim Chuan. Then in the 1980s, the two sites were reunited here in Tuas as one of the pioneer companies here, which was being redeveloped by JTC. After over 20 years in Tuas, we again moved to our current facility here in Gul Crescent, which is twice the size of our previous one.
When I get to know that we're going to shift to a new and a big premises, I was so happy and excited and looking forward for the new office because it's much more bigger, spacious, and also a good office equipment and the system.
Clenco has got a wide range of cleaning equipment. We started off with small cleaning machines, then chemicals as well as high pressure cleaning equipment, and we moved on to ride-on sweepers, scrubbers, and then we have truck-mounted tankers, ultra-high pressure cleaners meant for oil and gas industries. Currently, we also do customization and fabrication for different equipment for the customers' unique requirements at their job sites, is in order to actually serve them better.
One of the principles we have adopted is that we want to be able to fulfill all our customers' cleaning needs in terms of products and supplies. So we want to be able to offer a solution for every cleaning problem that they encounter.
I think the after-sales support is very important, especially in our industry, where we need to impart them the knowledge of operating the equipment that we supply, as well as to also cut down the downtime of equipment without breakdowns or things like this. But as well as we are also building the deeper relationship with the customers.
One of the more memorable experience that I have is the Hanjin bankruptcy, whereby our goods are delayed and stuck at sea for a few weeks, and everybody is panicking because we all have orders to fulfill. And it was then whereby I really saw the dedication that my bosses have to fulfill our customers' orders, because without much hesitation, they actually reordered some of the items and have it air freight over to Singapore so that we can still send it to our customers on time.
When I first joined Clenco, the warehouse is not as big as this. Now, Clenco actually already expanded to another bigger warehouse in the second floor. Okay, the main reason why we have all these things expanded, because currently we are serving the customers with a more range of equipment. Okay, as our customer grows and we are supplying more and more product, okay, our spare parts also increase because there's a need for us to be responsive to the customer, and we have to store more items to support the customers. We also have to use more space to store all these items, and of course it also affects the productivity because we need to be able to travel for that kind of space requirement. We actually have to introduce in the vertical storage system to improve this productivity and efficiency, and to be able to keep more stock items in a better way than we conventionally have to do it.
When I first joined Clenco 7 years ago, they are a bit traditional. It's still using the direct mailer. When I presented to them the EDMs, they resisted at first, but somehow or other I managed to convince them, and it has proven to be working. Thereafter, we have been using this concept. To me, this incident has showed me that our bosses are actually very open to new ideas and forward thinking.
我们公司注重环保这一块，我们production 每天所产生的废包装啊、废塑料啦、废纸皮啦，还有原料的空桶，我们都有专门的环保公司来回收。我们每一天日常生产所产生的废水、污水，我们都有我们工厂的专门污水处理厂来处理。
Our ISO 9000 quality management system covers all aspects of our chemical manufacturing, from product design to the actual production to sales and delivery. We were the first to achieve this certification in 1994, and even today, surprisingly few of our direct chemical manufacturing competitors have this certification. We are now also undergoing ISO 14000 environmental management system. Frankly speaking, this is not a popular certification among chemical manufacturers, as it is a commitment to self-impose regulatory and cost pressures beyond the normal legal requirements. But we are doing it anyway because it is the right thing to do for the environment and our community.
有一天，我们的大老板 Peter Bay 来找我，他就说可能一些东西细节上面他要叫我做一些修改，然后他来到我的位置跟我说，说到一半，他忽然看到我手里拿着水杯，于是他就赶紧看了一下手表，哎，12点了，12点其实是我们的lunch hour，然后他就讲，哦 ，sorry， 现在是你吃饭的时间对吗？这个东西没关系，等你 after lunch， 然后回来我再来跟你讲。然后我当时心里就想，哎，老板好好。
Our culture has never been defined formally, but over the years it has evolved naturally into one of putting people first. Our customers, our suppliers, our business partners, and most importantly, our staff. We hold the same values in the wider society too, beyond our business and work circles. As such, we want to give back to society. Twenco has initiated some small community-related projects in the recent years, and we hope to do more of such and larger undertakings in the future. As a business, of course, we aim to continue to grow, of which there are many different ways of doing it. We can do it by geographic expansion, by organic growth, by going upstream. But one thing we will definitely continue to do is to source globally for the latest cleaning innovations and strive to be the first ones to bring it to the markets we serve.